China, once an unknown land of stereotypical godless communists, has been surprising the world every year with innovations even sci-fi can't keep up with. When it comes to construction, China is the ultimate game changer. Whether it's tunnels, bridges, runways over highways, trains going through apartments, and whatnot, the Chinese pride themselves on being the most technically advanced in the world, despite the prejudice that precedes their reputation from the United States and their senators. China boasts the world's largest population. Providing for such a large populace is a drastic challenge. But China performs these tasks effortlessly, employing initiatives that seem impossible to the world's most brilliant minds. After successfully courting air pollution in Beijing to trade efficiency through the Belt and Road Initiative, China has also effectively reduced desertification within the region. By investing in mega projects like railways, highways, and solar fields within its biggest deserts, such as Gobi and Tacoma, China has utilized 27% of the land at risk of desertification. Turning deserts into habitable territory with lush green forests is something that the world did not anticipate, but China made it happen. Desertification has haunted countries as the biggest problem of the modern world, engulfing usable and agricultural land quickly. The alarming conditions of the movie Interstellar seem only a few years away. Every year, almost 167 countries face a shortage of agricultural production and water because of this nuisance. However, China is taking significant strides in tackling this problem, particularly in the Kubuki Desert in Inner Mongolia. Through years of dedicated efforts towards sustainability, an impressive 646,000 hectares of the desert have been transformed into a thriving oasis, providing a new home for over 100,000 individuals and lifting them out of poverty. Besides massive tree planting campaigns, China has been at the forefront of innovative afforestation methods. An astounding 7.12 million hectares of trees have been successfully planted in the last year alone, adding to the 70.4 million hectares of forest cover that the nation now has. These extraordinary efforts help fight desertification and climate change by preventing soil erosion and limiting carbon emission. China continues to meet its annual food demand despite having only 12% of arable land. A magnificent example of Chinese skill may be seen in the Yuli-Qianmu Highway in the Taklamakan Desert of China. After a 4-year journey, this project started in October 2017 and has been gloriously completed. A committed team of engineers thoroughly evaluated the problematic terrain, plotted the route, and overcame challenges such as low-lying regions and tall dunes. Its endurance to the harsh desert climate, including frequent dust storms, also proved a significant obstacle. Skilled engineers cleared the ground and prepared the highway's foundation. This included leveling the massive dunes and filling in the sunken hollows. The construction of the road required several layers of robust materials, including concrete, asphalt, and gravel, to ensure it could endure the constant buildup of sand. To manage the sandstorms, Chinese engineers installed nearly 900 kilometers of green barriers and 58 million square meters of grass grids. The builders of the new Yuri-Qianmu Highway in China's vast Taklamakan Desert took great care to guarantee its safety and functionality. Practical measures such as building drainage systems, culverts, and bridges were implemented to survive weather conditions. After that, lanes were created, the road was painstakingly paved, and signs were placed. After many hours of hard work, the highway was eventually ready for use, providing a practical and effective route to move people and products across the vast desert quickly. While the Western powers aim for biodomes on the Moon and Mars, the tech giant Chinese are hell-bent on turning their deserts into a modern utopia. One of the most jaw-dropping ventures is the South Xinjiang Railway. A massive 1,213-kilometer railway cuts through the biggest desert, the Taklamakan, in Xinjiang Uyghur. The railway that linked Hotin and Kashgar, two bustling cities, was a momentous feat spanning an impressive 1,210 kilometers. The project began in 2009 and was completed in 2016, with a staggering 38.2 billion yuan, equivalent to approximately 5.9 billion US dollars invested. The sheer scope of this endeavor is awe-inspiring. 227 bridges, 23 tunnels, and 8 stations had to be constructed in a ruthless desert terrain. Before constructing the train tracks, extensive preparation occurs as the engineers ensure the land is level, compacted, and secure. To ensure durability, a layer of gravel is carefully laid to provide a solid foundation. But that's not all. The ingenuity of using crushed rock and gravel as a cushion for the tracks prevents any sinking or shifting in the desert sands. Modern construction machinery and fast-setting concrete ensure insulation and protection of the concrete from scorching heat. Not to mention, they have thoughtfully set up shade tents and cooling systems to combat the heat. The 825-kilometer Houte and Rujiang Railway in China runs along the southern edge of the desert. Not only are the Chinese building railroads, but they're also planting 13 million trees and bushes. Tall trees on the boundary keep the sandy winds at bay, while the grassland keeps the sand affixed. But the most impressive is that they have used smartphones to manage automated watering to irrigate 13 million trees and 50 million square meters of grass grids along this grass corridor. The China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan Railway is expected to facilitate cargo movement domestically and internationally. After years of delay, the building of the CKU Railway finally began in 2021. The Loop Railway connects all of southern Xinjiang. Soon projected that Kashi, as a hub, might develop into a linking point of both local and international circulation. The CKU Railway might be the fastest method to ship commodities from China to Europe and the Middle East, saving 7 or 8 days of travel time and 900 kilometers on the voyage. The potent force behind this project has been President Xi Jinping himself, focusing more on his team's clever tactics of grass grids and green barriers to combat the challenge of desertification. China has shocked the world by reversing desertification in its territory, roughly converting almost 4.33 million hectares of desert land into usable territory since 2012. The Northern Sandstorm Line, which was once a significant headache for the Chinese franchise and their projects, is now fully converted to a greenbelt. All because of initiatives like the Maosu, Hanshendaki, Horchin, and around Kabuki. Some of you might be wondering how they do it. It's simple. The grass grids are essential in stopping the sand from blowing around. The green barriers keep the sand to the ground, preventing dune shift and anchorage loss on desert land. China's forest coverage skyrocketed to 23%, planting 64 million hectares of trees in the last decade. And here's the mind-blowing stat. Desertified land is shrinking by an average of 242,400 hectares yearly, flipping the script from the late 1990s when it expanded like crazy. Another incredible feat of Chinese engineering is the Tarim Desert Highway, situated in the enormous Taklamakan Desert in China. This 532-kilometer route is at the forefront of the movement towards a cleaner future. Earlier, diesel engines were used to irrigate the lands through water pumps. These engines were a tremendous strain on the environment. China replaced them with 86 solar power plants, reducing carbon emissions and employing greener solutions to combat global warming. These solar panels are tougher than the Navy SEALs, enduring 25 years of constant desert heat, and can even function for 7 days on a backup battery. With its technological advancement, China stands up to the issues of the modern world with innovation. It has successfully illustrated how natural calamities are nothing in front of endless human potential. Chinese technology might be the key to ending the graver issues of poverty in third world countries. China is also geared up to open its new highway worth $100 billion. Not in a desert, but in the ocean. Stay tuned for our next video to learn more about the Chinese marvels.